A pro CSGO player actually messaged me back on Twitter. Like, it wasn't Giuliano though. Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another episode of CSGO News. As always, time markers for every single story in today's episode will be down below in the description for all of you. And our first big story today is one you may have not heard about. Juho, a current iGame player, a Finnish organization who actually just participated in the Starladder Season 3 Invitational Qualifiers, did not qualify there. They actually went 1 and 2 in group stages, but one of their players, Juho, many of you probably heard that name, was actually accused of having an alternate account be VAC banned. Now, I'm going to show you guys a video and information on screen where when I first heard about this story, my designer and several guys contacted me with information about this, and I actually went on to prove that it was Juho's alternate account, just in case he tried to deny that. So I'll show you guys the information on screen right now. You can see the alternate account has several friends on Juho's friends list, including Juho himself. So it was confirmed it was Juho's alternate account, but instead we actually reached out to Juho himself and he responded confirming it was his alternate account that was VAC banned. Now his reasoning for this was several months ago he actually gave his account, his alternate account, to a friend who he knew was a cheater. This was several months ago, and his friend never changed his Steam ID and actually was a cheater throughout that time and was eventually VAC banned a couple days ago. So it is Juho's alternate account, but allegedly he gave it to a friend. So, you know, a lot of you guys probably going to be saying, oh my gosh, Juho, he was a cheater, man. He was cheating, he was VACing, doing bad stuff. But in the past, we've had this happen as well. These guys are innocent until proven guilty. I'm going to go ahead and believe Juho's word here, although it seems like your pretty typical response, like, oh yeah, I gave the account to a friend. Yes, as of right now, he is innocent until proven guilty, guys. That was Juho's reasoning as to why his alternate account was VAC banned. So yet again, we have had several tier 2 or tier 3 pros in the past year or so be VAC banned. This one again, though, will not lead to anything conspicuous, not lead to any conviction because, you know, Valve fails to look into this kind of stuff. So as of right now, the evidence we have online, it is Juho's alternate account. It was VAC banned. His friend was the one who VAC banned the account, and Juho's main account is still untouched. And that was in big news for all of you. Now moving on to some other stories about gambling. And this is actually a pretty big CSGO news. I know a lot of you guys don't like when I cover stories about the whole gambling scene, but big gambling websites out there like CSGO Polygon and even bigger CSGORoll have now banned visitors from both US and the UK. Now why I want to bring this up is to warn all of you guys, if you have currency or any skins on either website, never leave skins on gambling websites because these things can go out of business, they can disconnect, they can disband, they can unravel in no time at all. So never leave skins on websites out there. I know a lot of websites, you know, you leave currency on there for a night or two, you come back and gamble the next day, but never do that, guys. Two clear examples of this are CSGO Polygon as well as CSGORoll, who you can no longer access via the US or the UK. Now I want to actually tie this back. I know that a lot of you guys are going to say, Jake, you can use a VPN, but not everyone out there has the money or actually ability to use a VPN or has the know-how to know how to do that. And so I'm really curious as to why this happened out of nowhere. Many of you guys know all the way back in July, several months ago, when Valve first started their accounts on gambling sites or betting sites, CSGO Lounge being your first example, they were first banned from the US and the UK, and then eventually CSGO Lounge went on to actually disband their entire betting side of their site to all countries. So it might be the slow unravel of all these websites out there. I'm not really sure. It was only, as I know to my knowledge as of right now, CSGO Polygon and CSGORoll, where I'll show you guys on screen. If you try and access myself, if you're from the UK, Britain, or the US, you can no longer access that. Now you can use a VPN to actually do that, but not everyone has the ability to do so. So we actually reached out to the owner of CSGORoll, that is Joe, and to get no reply as to why they were banned, what stipulants, what rules came out in the past week or so, or the past 48 hours where they actually had to ban their systems to that. Now, both these websites also announced withdrawal and deposit errors in the past 48 hours, which led to this. Those deposits and withdrawals were finally fixed, but then when they were fixed, you couldn't access it if you were in the US or the UK. So as of right now, be very careful, guys, putting your skins and trusting your currency on a gambling site. Make sure to withdraw the instant you win, or, you know, don't withdraw if you lose, or just don't gamble at all. So that was in gambling news for all of you. And also in pretty big news, we had former Mouse Sports manager, I believe he left sometime back in January, that is Psycho, a big man himself, known as Psycho in-game, is officially joining the new German roster who joined about a couple months ago. That is Team Big. He is going to be their new manager. He formerly managed for Mouse Sports, and they congratulated him yesterday on Twitter as he finally announced his movement to Team Big. So best of luck to him in the future and what he can bring to that newer German roster, who obviously have performed quite well these past month or so at DreamHack Leipzig, I believe it was. So congrats to Psycho on his new role. But even bigger news, guys, we have our first Thorin beef in a long time. No one has actually taken public publicly to roast Thorin or to deny Thorin his intellectual rights here in a long time. Now, I know a lot of you guys question Thorin's abilities or question what he says, you know, to yourself, maybe not so much publicly. We haven't had a big public figure actually question him on Twitter like this. This is actually Peter Milovanovic, because he has such a questionable name. He actually took to Twitter over 1,000 favorites, several hundred retweets on this just last night, questioning Thorin's actual analyst abilities on the desk and how he analyzes CSGO stats. Now, where this fight actually began were these tweets a couple days ago as well. They were very, very subtle hints at Peter himself, because many people know as Peter being the co-owner and CEO of HLTV himself. He generally actually posts every once in a while about statistics and how they affect tournaments. And again, people see him as a public figurehead for knowing all this stuff about CSGO, but he never continuously actually posts about it. And that was Thorin's thing, you know, where if this guy has so much insight on CSGO, why does he never post speculation or post tweets about it? As many of you guys know, Thorin is constantly looking at stats, constantly posting things on Twitter and saying things on the analyst desk week by week. And so he was questioning why this guy, apparently if he's so smart in CSGO, if he's such a CSGO stat figurehead, why he never posts as much as Thorin does. So a little bickerment back and forth here. Obviously this though caught the Reddit feed, and so many people were wondering why Peter came out about this and why he's trying to start a quarrel with Thorin about this. So now we have, you know, I'm kind of worried as of right now. Thorin has yet to respond to this tweet. I can see him in his room right now debacling some kind of, you know, demonic way to actually return fire to Peter, because many of you guys know Thorin is a very wise guy, very well known in the CSGO community. I know a lot of things he says are very questionable, but yes, we have our first Thorin beef in a long time. Who will you guys side with? Peter Milovanovic, I actually got his name right, or Thorin? I'm really curious to see what Thorin's response is going to be for this little beef they have. And very last in today's CSGO news, our big CSGO news story just announced this morning. S1mple tweeted out this, where apparently, allegedly, he has heart problems. It may sound like sleeping problems as well, but allegedly he has so much pain in his heart he can barely sleep anymore, and I'm not really sure what kind of medical issue this will be, but you guys can assume as of right now, Navi probably knows about this, hopefully contacting medical support in sometime soon form. We can actually find out what his problems are. We've had several injuries related to CSGO in these past year or so, Olaf Meister, then we had Guardian, but those are just wrist and pectoral injuries, nothing with actual physical things like the heart itself, so this could be very, very serious. He sounds like he's in a lot of pain, so it can be very curious to see in the coming weeks what this actual issue is, and hopefully nothing serious. Now on top of this, I want to show you guys something to end the CSGO news episode, because we got sent something very cool, and in the coming days I'll release a video about this, but a gaming company sent me something. Here's what they sent me. Yeah, they sent me this. No, I'm just kidding. This is my crappy office chair. This office chair is almost older than me. It's actually my mom's office chair from when she first started her company back in our own home. I think it was actually 16 years ago. So this chair is older than most of you. But this chair is probably newer and younger than most of you guys. And so this unboxing video should come out sometime. I hope you guys can see me right now. That unboxing video should come out within 48 hours, and I'm not sure if you guys can actually see me or this is the right camera angle, because it's a front-facing angle now, but I hope you guys all enjoy this episode of CSGO News. Unboxing video coming hopefully within 48 hours or 3 days or so due to eWin Racing. I actually get a code with the website. Code CSGO News gets you 50% off, so I'll announce that as well. That should be a fun video. Even bigger though than that, I have a very big video coming out tomorrow, which will include the exposing of 2 big gambling websites out there and some big scams between gambling websites. So a gambling site scamming another gambling site, and I finally have the go-to for that. So it should be fun for the video for all of you, strictly about CSGO gambling and more CSGO news hopefully as well. So tomorrow might be a double upload, maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. As always, live, love, laugh, lot. Remember, I like you. Thank you all so much for your great support. I've had such a great weekend off, and I'm now ready to be back and doing college exams and stuff like that. So as always, see you guys next time. Remember, like.